Tomorrow the inflation numbers come out for Canada. The consensus is 2.3%. Trading Economics is forecasting 2.2%. RBC forecasts 2.3%. I'm forecasting 2.5%.
Good morning. The inflation numbers are out, and I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about how Gregor Robertson, Canada's housing minister, is absolutely wrong. And then I'm going to talk about this bailout to Argentina and how the current U.S. administration doesn't give a shit about you. First up, the inflation numbers. As I expected, the inflation was higher than consensus at 2.4%. Why was that less than I expected? Price growth in general was lower than I expected. Yeah, as I said in my video yesterday, gasoline was more expensive in September than it had been since we cut the carbon tax in April. The reason is following refinery disruptions. And given that the price of gasoline and oil is falling, I expect more refinery disruptions to keep the price of gasoline elevated. The average price of gasoline across the country was $144.2 a liter. What else led the charge in inflation? Rent and mortgage interest cost, of course. Now, across the country, asking rents are falling, but for people who are currently renting, their rents are increasing nonetheless. So there you go, right at the top of the list, rent and mortgage interest costs. Mortgage interest costs has been at the top of the list for 3 years now. And it'll stay at the top of the list for the next few years because COVID happened 5 years ago. People started renewing their mortgages at these incredibly low rates. It's 5 years now. Many of those people are going to be renewing at much higher rates. Unless there's some kind of collapse to drive the rates back down to near zero. Will September's above target number affect the rate decision at the end of the month? Not even a little bit. In Q3, businesses' sales outlook remained subdued and recessionary concerns persisted. You think? Yeah, the writing's on the wall. Like, let's face it. If you're standing on the train tracks and you're watching a train come at you, in the moment you're fine. But you know you're not going to be. And if Canada doesn't plan its housing initiative properly, it could get worse. Look, I know you're not getting paid. I know you want to buy your own home. But average housing price must fall to fix crisis? Oh no, that's going to cause a crisis. First up, you should know this. The cost of building houses has never gone down. Material costs have never gone down. They likely never will. Now, there are efficiencies to be found, and the average price growth should be slowed down a little bit. But bringing the prices down too much is going to be a big problem. Why? Okay, so I'm going to use exaggerated numbers here. Let's say you buy a house for $500,000. You put half down, and the rest is on a mortgage. So you own half, and the bank owns half. Let's say a crazy price drop occurs. The house becomes worth $250,000. You own zero, the bank owns 100%. That scenario would be absolute economic collapse. And no one would want to buy a house at that point in time because it'd be a terrible investment. Now you might be thinking, that'd be wonderful. I could buy a house for cheap, but you probably wouldn't be working. Like the entire economy would go to shit. So yeah, the Canadian government has to be careful on price growth. They have to make sure it's moderated. They have to find a way to make smaller, more affordable homes profitable, so we build those instead of building McMansions. But dropping home prices overall, that's going to lead to a crisis. A major crisis. A worse crisis than we have now. All right, let me wrap it up with this Argentine bailout. Argentina's central bank says it signed $20 billion currency swap deal with the United States. I've heard some MAGA supporters say this is not a bailout, it's a currency swap, so it's value for value, except it's the Argentine peso, which is known for losing its value. It's going to drop like a stone. And remember, this is happening because bond traders took a bet on Argentine debt, and they lost. So this $20 billion bailout is to help them. Oh, and it's a $40 billion bailout, eh? U.S. banks hunting for collateral to back $20 billion Argentina bailout. Yeah, the currency swap was just a temporary measure to prop up the peso. This is the bailout that's coming. Thankfully, Argentina's soybean sector is doing fantastic because China's not buying it from the United States. Oh, and Donald Trump's going to buy a whole bunch of Argentine beef to prop up the beef farmers in Argentina. Hey, don't worry. He's going to take care of farmers in the U.S. Trump bailout for trade-hit U.S. farmers expected this week, October 6th. Trump promised farmers a bailout. Time is running out. No bailout yet. Startling reality, rate of this among farmers is 3.5 times higher than the general population. But they don't care about the farmers. They've got a ballroom to build. Yeah, that's the White House. They're tearing down part of the White House to build an enormous ballroom for all the people they're helping. Not farmers. I'm going to wrap it up with a quote from Scrooge. If they'd rather die, they'd better do it and decrease the surplus population.